Shabbat Shalom. We are on time and we are rolling, and Sam's running the controls, and everything is good. And I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. Delighted you're here. I'm Robert Barr and Sharon Dittmar. We're back together again. It's so nice to be able to celebrate and observe the Sabbath with you. As is our custom, we'll begin with a reading, a little explanation, and then a fascinating conversation.
All right.
You're all right.
The days flow into one another. Without interruption, time races on. The Sabbath is our means to divert time, a stepping off point, pausing with friends and loved ones, to observe, then rejoice in the wonder-filled coincidence of living. There can be a sense of pleasure in every given breath, blessed with tastes to savor and warmth to give and to receive. Bestowed with gifts of sight and sound, we are obliged to cherish and revel in each smile and every musical note.
The Sabbath also awakens us to the silence between notes. It speaks of contemplation, the quiet delight of literature, of unhurried walks, of rare conversations. The Sabbath can be our interlude, our ritual pause in this lively current, our signal to step more lightly, to appreciate more profoundly, to dive more deeply into the questions that life is asking. So I'm Robert Barr, and this is Sharon Dittmar, Reverend Minister at First Unitarian Church of Cincinnati, and I'm the rabbi here at Congregation Beth Adam and OurJewishCommunity.org, a community that is woven together through technology. If you're watching now or in the archives later on at some point, technology allows us to form a community, and it's been really exciting. I really always love it. Somebody actually noted I posted that you were going to be here tonight yesterday, and I mistyped the date. I said the 16th versus the 18th, and somebody noted it, and I appreciate that. It's great that we're a community, that people are here to support each other and to make this a really unique place using technology. I've had some great email exchanges with folks. I've been meeting people online, and they're writing me, and it's exciting. And it's exciting that we can do that. We can transcend place and time in a way that our ancestors never could have imagined. But more than that is the language that we use. We're here to give voice to a progressive Judaism that's comfortable with interfaith, yes, that really expresses that we have a range of identities that different than we did, than our ancestors. We're much more open, much more complex, much more very multi-leveled and much more multicultural, and something at our Jewish community that we're very comfortable with. And so that's why I'm glad you're here. It really makes it's interesting. We have a great conversation, and we all grow as a consequence of it. And then bold language that brings in modernity and science and is comfortable with re-understanding and reinterpreting our approach to religion, our approach to our place in the universe, which we were talking about just before. Might get back into that. There's always a conversation before we start, and there's always a conversation after we end. But it's about being bold and creative. That's what it is. We inherited traditions, but we sometimes forget that we have to create new traditions for the past, for the future. We're not just the inheritors of the past, we are the creators of tomorrow. And if the traditions of the past no longer speak to who we are, it makes no sense to pass them on unchanged. We have a responsibility to give the best of ourselves to those who will follow. And that's what this place is about. So I'm delighted you're here for this Shabbat service and this conversation. And if you'll continue reading, I switched to letters. I know, but I was talking too long. That's what you were saying. You're going, I like working alone. All these ministers, you know.
The candles of Shabbat stand before us, waiting to meet the flame, longing to share their warmth, ready to shed their light. Like those who came before us, like all people, we find comfort and fear in flame, endless swirl of fascination, mystery, and awe. Like those who came before us, like all people, we are graced with the desire and the will to understand. So we continue our ancestors' search for answers, pushing away the darkness of ignorance. The flames they saw as magic and beyond comprehension became flames of knowledge and hope. But still we look with wonder, inspired by their beauty and power. We embrace the flames of Shabbat. We embrace the light, our vessel of mystery and understanding. As we light our Shabbat candles, we celebrate our journey, our quest, and our moments of peace.
May the light of our people shine. May the light of Shabbat cast its warmth in our homes. May these candles burn with respect for all who push beyond the bonds of ignorance, for all who seek justice, for all who build community. May these candles burn with memory of all who came before us. May we draw on the many ways our people have given voice to their ideas and to their values. May we add our own insight into their glow. If you light the candle, I'll read the Hebrew. Baruch ha'or ba'olam, blessed is the light within the world. Baruch ha'or ba'adam, blessed is the light within each person. Baruch ha'or ba'Shabbat, blessed is the light of the Sabbath. Thanks. We did. So, are you lighting lots of candles in church right now?
We always light candles every Sunday at services.
Every Sunday? Oh, right. I've been there.
Yeah, candles of joy and sorrow.
Candles of joyous hour, and then Christmas Eve is coming up,
Yes,
and a
we
lot
have
of
candles then too.
a lot of candles.
We actually, everyone, we light candles and turn out the lights and sing silent hymn. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, so this is really great. So this is a busy season for you. I really
Yes.
appreciate December is a busy month. September is busy for rabbis. End of August, September, December, and prepping for December must be the busy time for ministers.
Correct.
And one of the themes that the cycle of the Unitarian Summit
Yep.
is exploring wonder. So
Yes.
we're going to talk about wonder because this is the season of wonder. So I really like that. But then I started thinking, what does that mean?
What does that mean?
You've been preaching about wonder. You've been asking questions about wonder.
Yeah,
I just think,
I'd say wonder is to have curiosity.
okay.
So you can look at it like a couple ways. It's to have curiosity, but it's also what is unknown or what could be explored or what is beyond. So it's a whole bunch of things. I think what I love about it is that it's limitless.
Well, that's
It's one of the wonderful things about it.
So that's great. I mean, wonder is an amazing. It's a capacity, I think.
It can be, yeah.
It can be, and to sort of to imagine and to see ourselves bigger than we are. And we were trying.
And I love that you say a capacity because I think you can choose to have wonder or not. You can choose to be filled with wonder or not. And I actually really enjoy people who are filled with wonder and who meet their day with wonder so that, A, they don't take things for granted, but also that they can be inspired or surprised by things that many of us might take for granted or just walk by. Like, some days it's very cloudy in Cincinnati. And so,
Very correct, yeah.
when the sun comes out and it's crystal blue sky, I am truly filled with wonder, But I wonder how many of us just walk by that and are like, oh, the sun's finally here, instead of like, wow, it's so beautiful.
And it doesn't. I don't think wonder means giving up one's analytic abilities.
No.
I think sometimes I think some of the greatest scientists, I think people are filled with most wonder.
Of course. I mean, this is what inspires scientists anyway, is wonder and curiosity. I wonder why that works or doesn't work, or I wonder why that problem is solved or not solved. I mean, even Albert Einstein, when he died, he left things he wondered about unsolved. He could not solve them in his lifetime. It's kind of cool.
It is cool because it's that sense of it's both. It can be there's an emotional component, a sense of beauty, a sense of awe, a sense of mystery.
Yeah.
But there's also the sense of delving in and discovery. So it has both qualities to it. It's not one or the other. I mean, because in fact, one of the questions I wrote down was, can you have a religious, would scientific wonderment replace religious wonderment?
And I said, no, I think they're both wonderful. We have this wonder board at church right now where people can write their wonders. One of the first one that went up was someone wrote, I wonder what's beyond space. And I was like, I've never wondered that, in my whole life.
Really?
Really.
Wow.
I'd never, and so then that question was like, wow. And then I was like, well, I wonder what is beyond space. And I think that's the kind of question then that motivates scientists. I think there's a lot to wonder about in religion. There's a lot to wonder about in science. We could fight about which is more relevant or important. I find them all wonderful, as long as they don't harm anyone.
Well, it's interesting because there's this debate, that religion and science are two different realms and they don't intersect. And
I don't agree.
I don't either.
Okay.
I happen, but
We agree.
Well, this is the first time. Talk about wonder and imagine. This is
It's a holiday miracle.
It's a holiday
everyone.
miracle. Charlie Brown, there is a Christmas. Okay, we were talking. So no, I happened. That was Stephen Jay Gould sort of posited that. That was a way. That was part of what the two non-intersecting magisterium, as he called them, as a way to deal with it. I actually think they do interlap, but I do think I am very much of the belief that the more we understand science, the more we really can understand our place in the universe in the biggest sense of the word, and that it doesn't. We don't have to become. We don't. One way of looking at the universe in wonder is, oh, we're so infinitesimal. The other is to say, wow, we are of the same same matter, literally, stardust. We were talking about that before. Neil deGrasse Tyson, when the Big Bang exploded, everything that exists came into existence, and we are part of that. And we are at this magic moment. We are on this very unique planet. There are other planets, but we've yet to find other life anywhere else. We're beginning to see our place. Our ancestors couldn't even, they couldn't imagine the universe in which they lived because they didn't have a big enough scope of reference. And when we begin to see it, and you begin to see these amazing maps that are now being developed of the universe, it fills me with awe and wonder and excitement and disappointment that I'm not going to see all of it. I want to see more of it.
I sometimes feel I'm like, oh, time's going to run out for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I find I find science really infusing my religious perspective. Some people think it diminishes. I think it enriches it because we get to understand the complexity of the human spirit, the complexity of the human being as we are. We get to see our intersection with nature and how we came into existence and what our place is. And it fills me with a sense of awe. I think it's interesting. We both live in the realm of myth. We read these myths, and our ancestors were trying to understand their place using stories. And there's value in stories. Great stories can do amazing things. But a sense of understanding and a sense of growth and a sense of delving deep into the mysteries of the universe can be incredibly exciting. And the challenge is how we bring those into the sanctuary and how we bring those conversations. And we don't have holidays for that yet.
And something they say interesting in the material from the Soul Matters curriculum on wonder is that it's like having a sense of curiosity and holding knowledge a little bit more lightly. Not that it's not important, because for Unitarian Universalists it's really important, but wanting to create space to not have a specific answer, because if you always have a specific answer, why ask a question? You know everything, right? So leaving an opening for knowing, for being aware, for curiosity. And I actually find that really inspirational, because something that I find really frustrating is people who always need to know or think they're always right.
Or think they're always
but it's so frustrating to me. There's so much to be revealed in almost anything.
Right. So what you meant, you didn't mean people who... It doesn't bother you. People always want to know, but other people want to say that they know.
People have the answer to everything, because no one has the answer to everything. And if you think you have, you've missed the nuances of several parts of whatever you thought you know.
Right.
And that to me, I'm always like, oh, And I'm curious, like, if you and I know the same piece of information, what do we think about it? We could think or feel two very different things. And to me, I even have a sense of wonder about that. What motivates what you think about, and then what motivates what I think about, and what so that person saying what is beyond space is just fantastic to me.
Yeah, as a kid, I always wondered, is there like a wall and you climb over it?
I never once wondered. So isn't that interesting?
Oh, I always wondered. And what's interesting is this is what they're talking about. The space is actually like a sphere. Or an ellipse, and it's like being on the Earth. It's encapsulated. There is nothing beyond it. It just simply is expanding. And it's and why I find astrophysics and this whole world exciting is it to me is probably how our ancestors looked at the universe. Yeah. They didn't get it. And I don't get this. It's not the realm I live in, but it's so exciting. And I've taken to listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson has a podcast. We were talking about exercising. That's one of the things that I listen to. It's called Star Talk, and it's a conversation. He has a comedian on that lightens up the mood who isn't a scientist. But it's interesting, just that sense of wonder when somebody presents some information and there's another question and another question and another question, with the sense of it's always growing, and there's a sense of refinement in this, with the recognition that what we might know today can be either superseded or driven deeper, that we have a greater knowledge than we do now.
And what I also like about wonder is if you're really going to have a sense of wonder, you're going to be willing to fail, and you're going to accept failure as possibly a good thing. And I think in a world where we want control, we want to know what's going on, what's going to happen, we want to look good, and sometimes it can feel really taboo to fail. But if you're filled with wonder, failure is not bad. it's an opportunity to learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's tremendous.
Exactly, yeah, and I agree with you. Wasn't Edison is asked after he did 99 different ways to make a light bulb that didn't work? Somebody says, "So what? You failed 99 times." He says, "No, now I know 99 times now how not to make a light bulb."
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem. I actually believe in making mistakes. Not that I
Yes.
ever have. Okay. I'm just waiting for that. Okay. Now the idea is, if you always do what you always know, because you're
Yeah.
to be safe, you're never going to grow. It's growth. I mean, we're almost built to fail. The idea that taking a risk, and we're going to. I used to do leadership development. I used to take people outdoors and things like that. And we used to talk about falling forward. That if you fall forward, meaning everyone falls, but you can fall. You can either see it as a setback, or you can move forward from it and grow from it. And that's the risk. And right now, I think we live in times where people are a little bit more, even more risk averse, and so they don't
Yes.
want to they don't want to do that. It's easy. Fear can be very calcifying.
Yes.
And wonder breaks that open. It's what's possible. What is possible?
And I also think without a sense of wonder, we miss an awareness of whatever is in the moment. So if you have a sense of wonder, you are open then to whatever presents itself in the moment, which could be any number of fairly surprising things.
Right.
And what an amazing way to live. I mean, we might even refer to that as getting close to enlightenment in the Buddhist sense. So again, wonder being that pivotal.
And it's interesting because I think that sense of being in the moment. If you're, we could either come up here and give two parallel talks that have nothing to intersect, which I think a lot of people do that in life. They have two non-interactive conversations that sort of have similar words, and they call that conversation. Or you can really be in the moment and you play off of each other even when you have your own ideas. I think being in the moment, being able to really experience it, being open to the possibility that you heard something that the person was saying that you never had thought of before, or it touches you in a different way than you ever thought of before, is remarkable. So that's exciting. I like this sort of. I
love wonder.
It was interesting because when you wrote me about this and we were talking about it, I was like, wonder. I started singing, I wonder who wrote the book of love. Did you all sing that at church?
We did not sing that at
I
church.
thought. You should.
Did you sing that here?
No, but when you said wonder, that was the first thing that went through my mind. But that sense of I like it, and I understand why sort of the idea of bringing that into the season made sense. It's a really sweet. So you're giving a sermon on wonder this Sunday?
This Sunday, a sermon on wonder at First Unitarian
So what are you going
Church.
to will you give us is there one quote that you want?
Well, I'm gonna use this wonderful Mary Oliver poem. I love Mary Oliver. What is the greatest gift? You could look that one up if you're interested in it. But in the poem, she as the author expresses a wonder for others and other people, and the greatest gift is having a greater interest in the other.
Wow.
And I just think that that's kind of beautiful too. To me, Christmas has been at times whittled down to a whole series of things that either I don't believe in or don't matter that much to me, like shopping. But I think why does the holiday of Christmas appeal to people? Why did it become what it became? There's a lot of historical reasons, but I do think people have a sense of wonder or feel wonder and need a place to honor that. And for some people it would be the birth of Jesus. For other people it would be other things. But it is a season of wonder in many ways. But I sadly think the way we celebrate the season now kind of in the United States sort of diminishes the potential for wonder. But
The consumerism.
yeah, on all of it. I think people who insist on one interpretation of what Christmas is or what Jesus is or what salvation is, I'm like, ugh, it's so boring. It lacks wonder. That's how I feel.
That's good. That's what you say when you're.
I get it means something to someone else. It just doesn't mean as much to me.
Well, it does limit it. When people say this is what it means,
Yeah.
versus saying, we open it up? Can we break open these things and allow sort of nuance and texture
Sure.
and interpretation? But for some people, it's real, and it's real.
Fact.
It's fact. It's
It is sealed.
It is sealed, and if you don't, there are repercussions that
Yes.
result from it, and they have to impose that on you, and demand it.
Well, yeah, so I was going to be a heretic in any age. It's really obvious. But they say, the Unitarians used to always say, revelation is continuous. And I think that's one of the things that makes us unique. And it reminded me of what you were saying about your online community. Anything and everything is constantly revealed. There's no fixed truth. There's no final truth that we...
Right. They're values. I mean, I think this is what when people say there's no fixed truth, the idea is, evidence-based people are always willing to look at new evidence. They're a thing, right? That's the whole point. Evidence keeps on revealing new things. That doesn't mean, though, and this I just want to be clear, because I think that sometimes people hear that and they say, well, then we can deny climate change, right? Oh, because there's going to be evidence that was going to refute. There is a preponderance of evidence that supports certain systems of thought. So evolution is a system of thought that's not going to be, we may grow deeper in that understanding, but there's not going to be, in the history, it'd be very odd that there's going to be a rejection of the notion that we are an animal, that we evolved from other animals. They may understand it more nuanced, they may get understandings of their tree branches, but that sort of structure is going to be there. The fact that human beings are helping, or helping is the wrong word, are affecting the climate, which quite frankly is a pretty simple experiment to do.
Thank you for saving me from looking like I was a creationist.
Right. Well, but I think I think people use no, and I know you aren't, but I think people use that language that way.
Yeah.
But because a good scientist is willing to say, so what don't we understand? How's it going to change? I mean, gravity's gravity. It worked, and it's not going to just gravity doesn't simply stop being gravity. We understand that. We may get more knowledge about it and more understanding of how mass works, but it's not going to reject that fundamental truth. That's what I think I just want to be careful of. But I'm always excited when somebody, I was just reading something, I don't know, and I love reading the science stuff, and you go, wow, who came up with it? What made them think of this?
Yes.
What's the next iteration of this? How does it rework? And being open to that, because I find wonder joyful. I find it's energizing and exciting.
It's optimistic.
It is.
It is, isn't it?
I
it's
like
really
that.
hard.
Oh, I like that's
it's
the
hard.
sermon you should give. Sonny, change your sermon, please.
You can come and preach it for me.
Thanks. I love that. Oh, if I show up in a suit, you can love me.
I'll bring you off.
Hey, Bob's here. He gets to preach.
I think if you have wonder, there's a sense of optimism, and you can't live as deeply into fear or anxiety. You'd have to choose at the end of the day.
Right. And optimism isn't hope. Those two things are different.
No.
Optimism is an attitude.
Yeah.
Right. It's a sense of there's the possibility, and I turn. Hope is I think maybe something will work. Optimism is a sense that I'm committed to this world at getting better, and there's a level, and I've actually preached some sermons on the difference between optimism and hope.
And I think enjoying the beauty where you find it.
Yeah. And this is a great time, and depending on where you are, I mean, Cincinnati tends to be gray and overcast, but every once in a while the sun peeks out. It's like, wow, it's beautiful. And there was a little bit of flurries today, and I was like, wow. I like it when it's a little bit warmer, but it was like, wow, there's something beautiful about it. There is. I happen to like Christmas lights. I happen to like when it's snow covered and there's the
it's
twinkling.
pretty.
It's very pretty, and I think some people get certainly in the Jewish community they're so worried about if I like it somehow that's going to be bad for Jesus.
The Unitarians worry that too.
Oh, do they?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh goodness, it's just so pretty. I mean, it's there's something the season of the year. There's something I think wonder in a season when the nights are very very long and cold is really special because it's
and it's the same reason the menorah is mysterious, right? It just is.
Yeah, problem is it's just not big enough as compared to a Christmas tree.
Okay, fair enough.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't. I think if we're open to wonder, we can hold all of that, right? We don't have to be weighed down by the burden of a sort of certainty that precludes other things or other ways of knowing or beauty in its various forms. How dull would that be?
That's wonderful. That's very sweet. Well, I hope you have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you.
And I'm sure your members are going to enjoy that. And I hope all of you have a wonderful season and embrace wonder with all its myriad aspects and its joyfulness and its optimism and its hope.
And we have something wonderful for you in a bit.
Oh, okay. Oh, I hear it.
He went out and bought it fresh today.
Oh, you shame me into it.
It's wonderful.
That's another sermon. Shame.
I did not shame you into it.
I felt bad. Like, hey, I was driving in and I said, okay, we're going to do the hollow reading. I'm going to let you do the hollow reading. Wonder.
It smells good, people.
And it's not sliced. We don't even have services. In fact, some of the staff walked in today. Our executive director walked in,
I could smell
and she went, "Are there services tonight?" Because she saw the holiday setting. I said, "No, Reverend Dittmar is coming to services, and I promised I'd finally get her on." So this is a big deal.
It looks and smells good, and it's real. Should I?
Please, this
right.
is for you.
At this moment, we come together to welcome the Shabbat. We take pause, breathe in life, and reflect on the importance of each of our lives. We feel the touch of spirit on the body, the warmth of fellow human beings. We embrace our uniqueness and our diversity, our capacity to create, to explore, to change our world. In sharing the challah, this Sabbath bread, we nourish our spirit. We are connected with each other, with our ancestors, with the earth, the sky, and the whole of nature.
Baruch Hamalkapenu, blessed is the work of our hands. Baruch Hazon Ha'adam, blessed is the vision of our minds. Baruch Lechem Ha'aretz, blessed is the bread of the earth. And then if you have some wine or some juice, join with me. Life is a wondrous gift. The mind observes with awe, and appreciation flows from the heart. Life's joyful bounties are unveiled. Such treasures abound in ordinary moments. A familiar face, the simplicity of a smile, tender kisses, the warmth and security of a hug, enchanting melodies, the grace of dance, the coolness of sculpted marble, a remarkable story, the complexity of atomic structure, thunder's reverberation, the shimmering of the rainbow, intoxicating rose petals. These moments become opportunities to affirm that which is good. As we lift the cup, a tribute to life's enchantments, may we find joy and contentment in our human endeavors. Bruchim ha'chayim ba'olam, blessed is the life within the world. Bruchim ha'chayim ba'adam, blessed is the life within each person. We say l'chaim, to life.
L'chaim.
And a couple quick announcements. If you've not gone to our Facebook page, go check out our Facebook page. And still, Hanukkah's over, but you can still see the Hanukkah video that we did, which was a lot of fun. A lot of people shared it. We really appreciated it. It reached over 100,000 people's feeds and was viewed by about 30,000 plus people, 35,000. It was pretty exciting. So we love that. We love that you shared, you participated. Please be a part of that. I know Christmas is quickly coming, but if you still want to get Hanukkah Christmas cards or Christmas cards that we produced, you can go to Zazzle and go to Our Jewish Community. People are still doing that as well. If you're able, we'd appreciate a donation at this time of year. It's the year end. It's the time that a lot of not-for-profits talk about donating. And if you can, whatever you can contribute is greatly appreciated. You can actually go to our Facebook page, and one of the posts recently put there is about how you make a donation. You click on the photograph there. It takes you to a click and pledge site. You can make a donation, or you can mail a check in. We'd appreciate that. Always go back to our website, see what we're doing. You can look over the past year. A lot has been happening here at ourjewishcommunity.org, and we're delighted that you're a participant in this. We've really created a remarkable community, and as the year draws to a close, I really think about what we've done, the people we've reached, the people we've encountered, the conversations that have taken place, the friends who've been participating, and it's wonderful that you can be here. Next week is December 25th. It is, I was going to say Hanukkah Day, Christmas Day, right? It's one of those holidays that has at the beginning. It's Christmas Day, and Reverend Dittmar is going to be here with us. I know that for a fact, because we're going to actually pre-record the service. You're actually going to be preaching and working on Christmas Day. And so we're going to pre-record a service about Christmas that we're going to post at 6 o'clock next week. And those of you who like to chat online live, you'll be able to chat online as if it's a live service. But I really wanted to have a conversation about Christmas, so we're going to do that. And we look forward to seeing you throughout the years. We can always read your posts whenever you do that. So stay in touch. You can write me at rabbi@ourjewishcommunity.org. And as we close each of our services, we say, may we know blessings those who are near, and may we know blessings those who are far. And may the Sabbath bring its goodness to everyone soon, wherever they are. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.